a question that I see floating around the practitioner space for quite a few years, actually. And it's especially from those that are just starting out. They're new. I've asked the question myself back in the day. And that is, do I need to be fully healed before I can work with clients? And underneath that question, what people are often really asking is, am I allowed to do this work while I'm still working on myself? And it's such an important question because we live in this culture and in a spiritual marketplace that often pushes this idea that practitioners need to be polished and perfect and healed and endlessly wise and unshakable people. And the images that you've done all of your inner work. You've closed every loop. You've navigated every obstacle, and now you're here to guide others from the proverbial mountaintop, of complete clarity and wisdomness. And the reality is, that mountaintop does not exist. That mountaintop is not real. We are human. We are always in process. You don't graduate from your own self work. Like life doesn't work that way for anyone. Life will keep giving you new edges, new challenges, new mirrors to look into. And if you wait until you are fully healed, you're never going to start. there is no start line in your future. And I don't need to be predictive in order to see that. That's just reality. And now this doesn't mean it's okay to bring in all your unresolved traumas and wounds and issues into your work and expect your clients to hold them. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. Like absolutely not. There is a big difference between being human and being uncontained. Okay, like know the difference. The line isn't about being finished with healing. It's about having the self awareness, the skills, and the boundaries to keep your process separate from your client's process, okay? Separate from the work that you do. This is where the core competencies that I teach come in. Skills like congruence, self-regulation, empathy. These aren't just fun ideas to add to your practice, to add to your skill set. They're what allow you to show up for someone else, even when your life isn't perfect, because life isn't going to be perfect, and that's okay. Congruence means being aligned in what you feel and think and express, not pretending you're somewhere that you're not, that you're experiencing something that you're not. Self-regulation means you can notice your own emotions, your own triggers, and have the capacity to bring yourself back to a grounded, responsive place. And empathy, well, empathy allows you to be fully with the client without making the moment about you. Because the most important person in the room is not you. Your session is the zero about you. It's all about the client. And when you have those skills, you can navigate your own inner world while still creating a safe, focused, and contained space for someone else's work, someone else's process. You can be honest with yourself about where you are without bleeding that into your sessions, or making it the client's problem or the client's responsibility. Like, please don't do that. Let's have some lines and boundaries in place. Some of the best practitioners that I know are deep in the trenches of their own work and their own process. They do therapy. They're working with mentors. You're still meeting their own shadow work head on. What makes them excellent isn't that they're done with the work. It's that they know what's theirs and what's the client's. And they can sit with someone else's pain without confusing it with their own. They can witness without rescuing, and they can hold space without needing to, perform perfection, feign being this ultimate guru. And the danger isn't in working while you're still healing. The danger is in working without the skills and awareness to hold both your humanity and the client's process at the same time. That's when boundaries blur, projection creeps in, and sessions become, well, they become more about you than the person you're supposed to be supporting and working with. All right, so if you're holding back from your work because you think you have to be completely healed and have it all together, I want you to hear this loudly and clearly. All right, like, hear me now. You are allowed to be in process. You are allowed to still be learning, still be unpacking. You are allowed to still be human, okay? What matters is that you are committed to doing your own work alongside the work you hold for others, and that you have the skills to keep those two things separate, okay? Because that's the important part. That's where the safety comes in. So this idea of being fully healed, it is garbage. It is utter complete hogwash. Okay, the truth is healing is cyclical. You'll revisit old patterns at new depths. You'll meet yourself in ways you've never expected, and that's not a disqualification. Okay, it's a gift. It means you'll understand, what it's like to sit in uncertainty, to feel the discomfort of growth, to navigate the mess, because you're going to be taking other people through these processes. So you need to take yourself through them for yourself. It means you'll bring lived empathy and lived experience, not just your theory and what you've learned in your courses. You're bringing lived experience to your work. That makes a big difference. And if you're unsure whether you're ready, don't measure it by whether your life is perfect or your healing is complete or you have enough certifications and qualifications and therapy behind you. Measure it by whether you can stay grounded in the client's process without making the process about you. Measured by your ability to contain your own emotions in the moment, and by your willingness to keep doing your own work outside of client space. This is exactly why I built the core competencies course. Like, this is the reason right here, because readiness isn't about being perfect. Okay, it's about being equipped. All right, and really, that's really what it comes down to. And it's equipped with the skills that make you steady, trustworthy, and able to hold space, even when your own life isn't picture perfect. Because when is life ever picture perfect? Okay, like, realistically. So no, you don't have to be fully healed to take on clients and to start doing your work and being a healing practitioner, but you do need to be actively engaged in your own growth. Be willing to keep learning, and be equipped to protect the integrity of the space that you hold. That's what makes you ready, okay? Not the finish line. Then, well, the finish line doesn't exist, okay? So that, like, don't try and use that to define your readiness. You are ready when you are equipped to hold space for someone else while still continuing to do your own process and